So you're looking for a dog trainer in Camarillo, and it can feel like there are a ton of options out there, right? Well, don't worry. We're going to break it all down for you. This is your practical guide to finding the perfect training partner for you and your pup so you can feel totally confident in your choice. You know those perfect moments you dream of? Like taking a calm walk through Disdar Park or maybe grabbing a coffee at a pet-friendly spot on Ventura Boulevard and your dog is just chill. No pulling, no barking at everything that moves. That's the goal, and it's totally possible. The key is finding the right trainer to help you get there.
All right, so where do you even begin? Well, the first step is just getting familiar with your options. We're going to talk about the different kinds of training out there. Once you know the basics, you'll know exactly what to look for and what questions to ask.
Okay, let's talk about the big one, positive reinforcement. Pretty much every modern qualified trainer uses this approach, and for good reason. It's all about rewarding your dog for good choices, with treats, praise, or toys. It makes learning feel like a fun game, and it builds an amazing bond of trust between you two.
Okay, so you've got the how down with positive reinforcement, but what about the where and the when? The format of the training is a huge piece of the puzzle. You got to find something that fits your lifestyle, your dog's personality, and your specific goals.
So let's look at the two most common setups, group classes and private lessons. Group classes are awesome for socialization, getting your pup used to other dogs and people in a controlled way. Plus, they're usually easier on the wallet. But if you're dealing with specific things at home, like, say, your dog goes nuts when the doorbell rings, private lessons are perfect. You get a plan that's 100% customized for you.
And hey, there are other options too. If you have a super busy schedule, day training can be a lifesaver. The trainer works with your dog while you're at work. And then there's board and train, which is kind of like a boot camp for your dog. It's really intensive and can be great for getting a solid foundation in place quickly.
Okay, so now you have an idea of the what and the where. But what about the who? This next part is crucial. How to check if a trainer really knows their stuff and is the right person to help you and your dog.
The first thing to look for is certification. Now, here's the thing. Dog training isn't a regulated industry, so technically anyone can call themselves a trainer. That's why certification is so important. It shows that a trainer has actually studied, passed exams, and is committed to professional standards. It's a huge green flag.
So what do these certifications look like? You'll see a bunch of letters after a trainer's name. For everyday skills and manners, things like CPT-KA or KPA-CTP are fantastic signs. If you're working on something more serious, like deep-seated fear, you'll want someone with a credential like IAABC-CDBC. And for really complex aggression cases, a CBCC-KA is the specialist you'd look for.
All right, here's a simple little checklist for you. 4 steps to vet any trainer. First, look for those credentials on their website. Second, set up a phone call or a meeting. Third, come prepared with questions. We'll get to those in a sec. And fourth, this is a big one, ask if you can watch one of their classes. Seeing how they interact with dogs and people tells you everything.
Okay, so what should you ask during that consultation? Here are the essentials. You absolutely have to ask what methods they use. You want to hear positive reinforcement. Ask how they'll customize the training for your specific dog. Ask how you'll both track progress. And, of course, get all the details on cost and policies right from the start. You want everything to be crystal clear. All right, let's talk money. It's obviously a big factor. Knowing the typical costs for dog training in and around Camarillo will help you budget and figure out what makes sense for you. So here's a general breakdown of what you can expect to see for 2025 in the Ventura County area. As you can see, a set of group classes might run you a few $100s. On the other end, a really intensive board and train program is a much bigger investment. This gives you a ballpark so you can plan accordingly. Let's zero in on one of the most common options, a private lesson. For one session, which usually lasts about an hour to 90 minutes, you're generally looking at somewhere between $120 and $200 here in the Camarillo area. It's a really good way to get started or just get an expert opinion before you commit to a bigger package. Okay, so you've found your trainer. You've got a plan. Now what? The whole point is to make your real, everyday life better, right? So let's talk about the local rules here in Camarillo, and more importantly, some awesome local spots where you can practice everything you're learning. So, there are 3 key rules you've got to know as a dog owner here. Super simple. Number 1, your dog needs to be on a leash that's 6 feet or shorter anytime you're in a public space, unless you're in a designated off-leash area. 2, rabies vaccination has to be up to date. That's state law. And 3, your dog needs to be licensed with Ventura County Animal Services. Just the basics to keep everyone safe. And now for the fun part,
getting out there and practicing. The Camarillo Dog Park over at Freedom Park is fantastic for working on that recall in a safe, fenced area. If you want to practice polite leash walking, Dizdar Park is perfect for that. And when you're ready to level up, heading to the nearby trails at Point Mugu State Park is an amazing way to test your dog's focus with totally new sights and smells.
Look, finding the right trainer is really about finding a partner, someone who's going to guide you. And once you do, and you put in the practice, you'll start to see those moments we talked about earlier. You'll be enjoying a peaceful walk through Old Town, feeling totally confident in your dog and in the amazing relationship you've built. All the effort you put in now is going to pay off for years to come.